Hey everyone, it's Jen. Welcome back to Yarn Purpose. It's the end of the month, so you know what that means. It's time for that coffee catch up. Hey everyone, it's Jen. Welcome back to Yarn Purpose. I'm so glad to be talking to you today. I've got a lot to catch up on. I've got a lot of things I've been working on and I can't wait to share them with all of you. So I hope that you have your coffee or other beverage. Today I am drinking sort of my new thing. It is cold brew coffee and chai tea and a little bit of half and half. It is delicious. So first things first, I want to go ahead and do the giveaway winner for the giveaway for the August knit crate. So I have the knit crate right here just to remind you. So I was the designer for the August Artisan Knit Crate. So I had a video up that unboxed it and showed the contents here. And so I did a giveaway on that video. So thank you to everybody who checked it out and entered. I'm really hoping that you liked seeing the unboxing. I like watching unboxing videos on YouTube. So, but anyway, I used a random number generator, and this is the winner, Mick Radner on Ravelry. So I will be sending you a message on Ravelry to get your contact information to send you that August Artisan Knit Crate. I hope you enjoy it. Congrats! Yay, winner! Okay, so that's sort of the odds and ends we need to take care of. So I will sort of catch you up on what's been going on in my life. As you can see, I cut off all my hair. I guess that's like the major thing. Not much has really been going on in the last month, just work and stuff. But I have wanted this haircut for a really long time and was kind of working up to it. If you've been here on my YouTube channel for a while, you have seen my hair slowly over the last few months get shorter and shorter and shorter. So I just went for it and I didn't dye it. I'm letting that gray hair just flow. So I don't know. I'm going kind of back and forth between like, this is the greatest thing I've ever done to my hair and what the heck was I thinking. So I do like it though. So I'm definitely enjoying it, and it's so easy to take care of, and that's like the best part of it, is that like you barely have to do anything to your hair when it's this short. Yeah, so that's exciting. Other than that, I was supposed to go on vacation with my in-laws, like with my husband and like his side of the family. I got really sick and had a really bad sinus infection and ended up staying home because I don't think I could have spent a couple days on the boat, like, and it was so hot and I was so sick, like fever, just, well, you don't need the details, but I was very ill. So, but I'm feeling much better now, definitely over it. So, coming up, we don't really have too much planned. We're kind of holding out. We have some bigger vacation plans for next year. So this summer was pretty much kind of just laying low and saving our money for some bigger trips for next year. So, really it's just been working and knitting and crafting and having a good time. So let's go ahead and get into some of this knitting. I do kind of have a lot of stuff piled up over here. Let's talk about finished objects. I did finish something and I'm very excited to show it to you today. I finished my Tegna sweater. Hooray! So it is an FO because it's done, it's finished, but I might actually rip some of it out to redo it. So I love it. It turned out beautifully, but I knew when I was knitting this two things: that I wanted it longer, and that for the size that I needed to knit, it was gonna probably be too tight around my arms because I have pretty big arms. But then I don't know what happened when I went to knit it and got to the sleeves. You know how it is. You tell yourself it's fine because you don't want to knit a little bit extra to do what you know you need to do. You just want the sweater done. So my plan originally was that I was going to knit whatever size, I don't remember. It's on my Ravelry page. I'm Jen Lucas on Ravelry if you want to go look at my project page and see my notes. So I knit to this, my original plan was to knit it like the size that I needed, but then switch to the larger size sort of when I got up here so I could make the sleeves larger. And then, I don't know, I just wanted my sweater done and decided not to do that. And so, of course, the sleeves are a little tight. So, I don't know, I feel like it might prevent me from wearing it, which then it's like, what's the point of making this beautiful sweater? So, I probably at some point am going to rip it back, and I'll have to undo like the 3-needle bind off to add some more length here so that I can make the sleeves bigger. But I think I'll be happier with it in the end. And this was using 2 skeins of Anzula cloud yarn in the Seaside colorway because he's so pretty. And I did not use all of the second skein, and I actually had bought a 3rd skein of it as sort of security. And I love to use that yarn for knitting shawls, so I figured if I didn't use it, it would get used eventually anyway. So I have more than enough yarn to make this change. So I don't know, I'm sort of setting it aside for now. I still am wearing it, but it is a little tight in the arms, which I knew it was going to happen, you know. You think after all these years of knitting you would learn, but you don't. You don't learn. You know, you just keep telling yourself whatever you need to tell yourself to get your project done right. But that lace on the bottom is beautiful. And again, the pattern is Tegna by Caitlin Hunter. So I just love it. I do really love this sweater. So yeah, that's the thing I finished. So that's really great. That's really the only thing that I have finished. I've been, of course, having work projects, you know, that have come and gone in the last month, but this was the only personal project that I finished. So that's that. So now we'll get into a couple of whips, works in progress. Let's see. So in my last coffee catch-up episode, I believe I showed you that I was knitting socks out of this sock blank here. And this sock blank, that's like a tongue twister to me. The sock blank is from Gale's art. You can see it's got some sparkle to it. And I had bought this at Rhinebeck in 2016. And it was finally time to do something with it. So I had started some socks. And then sort of as I've been working on them in the last week or so, I just decided that these did not want to be socks, that I wanted to show it off more. Like, it's just knitting up so beautifully. So I am scrapping my sock plan and just gonna go ahead and knit some convertible fingerless mitts that, you know, have the flap to make it into a mitten. So I've just sort of started the thumb gusset over here. And I am 100% just winging this. I've just knit enough fingerless mitts and mittens that I'm just like, okay, I made a plan in my head and I'm just kind of going for it, which inevitably this is going to backfire because I'm going to probably knit the first one and then not knit the second one for months and then forget what I did, but that's okay. It'll be an adventure. So yeah, so it's knitting up. I love how this is like it's almost like a little bit of like a gradient or something, and how the like colors are changing. It's just so pretty. Yeah, so those are my Gale's Art sock blank socks that turned into fingerless mitts. So that's the first thing. And then the second thing, I'm very excited about this, I started the Izumi sweater. So if you saw my Stitches Midwest recap and haul, you will remember that I bought this yarn from Studding String Studio, and it is their Super Sport, I think is what it's called. I can never remember yarn names. Let's just see. It is their Super Sport, so it's 100, ooh, that's bright, 100% superwash merino, and obviously sport weight. So, and the colorway is Broken Heart. So I had bought enough of this yarn to make the Izumi sweater, which was from a Pom Pom Quarterly magazine. And so I did actually start it, and I've actually got quite a bit of it done so far. Let's see here. So there it is. So it's knit from the bottom up. Oh, it's super wrinkly. It's knit from the bottom up, and so actually I kind of like that it's knit that way because all the boring stuff was at the beginning. Like, you know, sometimes when you're knitting like a top-down sweater and there's like stuff at the top and then you have to knit like miles of stockinette before you do the ribbing. I just have a tendency to, you know, you get bored. So I liked that the boring part was at the beginning because it kept me knitting to get to the lace up here. So this is actually the back of the sweater. And it's this beautiful cable and lace pattern. So it's in the center here, and then it's also forming on the sides on the back. And then those eventually like merge together to make one big lace pattern. And then here on the front, there's the little lace detail as well. So I, like the Tegna, I added a little bit of length just because I do like my sweaters a little bit longer. And so I've just sort of split off where the armhole is going to go for the sleeve, and I've started working back and forth on the back. I've only got maybe, I don't know, 4 to 6 rows of working back and forth so far. So I'm really enjoying this. I will say with the lace, and I don't think that there was any other way to do this, it's just a lot of charts. So there's the chart for this part over here, then there's the chart for the center part, and then there's the chart for this part over here, and then the ones on the front you use the same charts as you use over here. So, and the charts are big, which is great because I love really big charts, but it almost requires me having table space to sort of put out each chart, so I'm not just like scrunched up on the couch constantly flipping pages. So so yeah, I had a couple days last week, so I really worked really hard on this one. This, more than anything else, I want for Rhinebeck, so I'm really working hard and trying to like basically schedule time to work on it because I really want this sweater so bad. And let's see, what else do I want to tell you about it? I am alternating skeins just because these skeins all are the same dye lot and they look exactly the same, but they are hand dyed. And I have run into situations in the past with hand dyed yarn where even though it's the same dye lot and when you're looking at them, they look exactly the same, when I've not alternated skeins and then switched, I've had a distinct line. So I did not want to take any chances with this sweater. So I am actually switching skeins every other row. So let me show you here where, so here I'm just carrying it up over here. Right there's where I'm carrying it up. So that's actually working out really well. I sometimes have struggled with when carrying the yarn up like a project, especially when working in the round. Even if I'm just alternating skeins, I've struggled with having it look okay. But what I did on this sweater is rather than switching the skeins on the first stitch when I started the round, I actually switched the skeins on the second stitch when I started the round. So I would like knit with the, so I would switch which ball of yarn I was using on the second stitch of the new round instead of the first stitch. And so I feel like it actually here, I mean, I feel like it's like right here. I mean, I feel like you can't really see it too much. I mean, for me, this is a like huge improvement. So yeah, so that's my Izumi sweater. So those are the main works in progress that I've been working on. So let's see, what else should we talk about? How about acquisitions? I've definitely had some new things come into the house that I want to show you. Okay, acquisitions. First things first, I was at Knit Night the other night, and my dear friend Jen, she gave me these amazing pins from Shellican. She is Shellican on Instagram. She's Shelly with an I .can on Instagram. I'll leave a link to it down below. But she just gave me these sweet little pins. Look at, aren't they so cute? So this one's an avocado, and it's got like a little yarn ball in the middle of it. Like, come on. And then the other one's a kraken. I mean, geez, with the yarn balls, it's so cute. I cannot. So those were just a gift from my friend Jen, and I wanted to show you because they're awesome. So those I got the other day, but then I did buy yarn for another sweater. I do not know what has happened to me. I am normally not a sweater knitter, but I have been like getting obsessed with all the popular sweater patterns lately. I don't know. I think it's partially that I've been going to knit night more or something. I don't know. So anyway, my friends are a bunch of enablers. So I bought the yarn for this pattern right here. I forgot to look to see how, there's like, it tells you how to pronounce it because I don't know how to pronounce it. Ixchel. Ixchel? Ixchel. So that is the sweater there, and it is in the new Pom Pom Quarterly. So Magpie Fibers, I had seen on Instagram that they were doing kits for the sweater, and yeah, I completely bought one. I actually did a live unboxing of this yarn on Instagram. If you do follow me on Instagram, you may have already seen it. So I just pulled out the 2 different skeins. I didn't pull out all the yarn. So this is the Magpie Fibers. It's the Swanky sock, which is 80% superwash merino, 10% cashmere, 10% nylon. And this one here, the colorway is Empty Night, and it's just so pretty. It's got like dark blue, but then it's got like turquoise and like grays and almost like a hint of like navy bluish purple. I don't know. It's so pretty. And then the contrasting color here is Moonbeam, which is sort of this gold color that kind of goes to this dark golden brown. So again, Ixchel is the sweater. I mean, everybody's going crazy over this pattern on social media, and I can see why, because it's just so pretty. I have no idea when I'm going to knit this. This might be Rhinebeck 2019 sweater. Might be a while, but I had to get the yarn for it. I had to know that someday this sweater will be mine, so I look forward to starting this sometime in the future. So that is really it in terms of acquisitions. And so now I'm going to go ahead and just do a little chat about some of the design work I've been doing and what's been going on in the Jen Lucas Designs business. As far as design news goes, there's lots of things coming up. Now that it's fall, I feel like everybody is knitting again, and this is usually the time when I start to get a little more busy and start having more patterns coming out, so I'm really excited for all the things I have coming up. So the first thing is that I am going to do another mystery knit along this year. I haven't really announced this anywhere else. So normally I do a mystery shawl knit along, and it's usually in the fall. But this year I actually decided that I'm going to do a mystery cowlet knit along. So if you're not familiar with what a cowlet is, it's basically starts out as a top-down triangle shawl, and then you join it in the round to turn it into a cowl. So it's sort of like a top-down triangle shawl that is attached to itself so it doesn't fall off, because those little tiny triangle shawls don't really fit me that well. So I really like doing the cowlets because I love that style. I love knitting them, but they're really, for me, they're hard to wear, especially the really like one skein sock yarn shawls, just for my body type, are just not the right shawl. So the cowlet sort of eliminates that because it is attached to itself. So you don't have to worry about, you know, the ends coming over your shoulders this way, or if you're going to wear it the other way and have it like come around like a kerchief, I would call it like cowboy style. You don't have to worry about that because the cowlet is attached to itself. So I thought about this a lot. I know that people really love the mystery shawl knit alongs, but I just decided I wanted to do a cowlet this year, so that's what we're gonna do. I may do a shawl, mystery shawl in the spring. I sort of have that in the back of my mind right now, but for this fall we're gonna do a mystery cowlet knit along. So definitely, if you want to knit the cowlet or you're interested in these mystery knit alongs, be sure down in the description below to sign up for my email list. I send 2 emails a month, so I'll definitely be sharing the information there when that is going to start. It's probably going to start at the end of September, beginning of October. I haven't decided on the dates for sure yet. Or if you follow me on Instagram, I'm Jen Lucas Designs over there, so I'll definitely be announcing it over there too. So Mystery Colette Knit Along, I am very excited about that. The next thing is I have my patterns finished up for my Patreon page. So my Patreon page, there's a link to that down below. I do Patreon exclusive patterns every other month, and you have to be a member of the Patreon page for 2 months to get the pattern when it comes out. So the pattern now will be coming out in September. So the people that are on my page that have been there July and August will get the pattern in September, if that makes sense. But I wanted to show them to you. They do eventually, after 6 months, are available on Ravelry. And also, if you're like, ooh, I'm sad I'm missing out on that, if you sign up now in August, no, I'm lying. If you sign up in September to my Patreon page, and you're a member in September and October, you will get the pattern that comes out in November, if that makes sense. So anyway, so what happens is I usually pick the yarn. I kind of go to my stash a little more for these Patreon patterns because they are exclusive just to the Patreon page. So I choose what yarn I want to use, and then I do polls on my page to have the patrons decide what they would like me to design. So depending on the yarn, you know, it's not every available option out there in the world, but this time I had some Malabrigo Rios, which is a worsted weight yarn. So I had the options of like hat, mittens, fingerless mitts, cowl, like I had 2 skeins, so it was like, you know, just like smaller quick accessories, and everybody voted, and hat was the winner. And then I left options for different things. Do you want cables? Do you want lace? Do you want like texture, like something similar to seed stitch? And then I usually sort of look at the top 2 or 3 and kind of see how I can combine them into my project. So the vote was for cables, but also some texture. So I went with this stitch pattern here. So yeah, it turned out super cute, but then I knit this really fast, and it didn't take that much yarn because it was only a hat. So sort of the consensus on Patreon was, hey, maybe some fingerless mitts would be nice too. So I made some matching fingerless mitts that my Patreon members are going to get this month as well. So this will be available for my Patreon members September 15th, again for the members for July and August. So if you don't want to miss out on any more patterns, be sure to check out the Patreon page so that you can sign up, and then you would get the November patterns. And also there's also other, like all kinds of rewards. You get free patterns depending on your level, coupon codes, $5 and up patrons get every self-published Ravelry pattern I do for free, which is a great deal because my patterns are, most of them are $6 or more. And some months I do release more than one pattern. So anyway, that's my plug for my Patreon page, but I'm super excited to have those done. So the next thing I'm super excited about is I did a booklet for Leisure Arts. So I've written my my full-length books, but I talked to Leisure Arts about doing a booklet, and it worked out, and so here it is. So this will be available in big box stores, so like Joann's, Michael's, things like that, in the coming month or 2. I haven't seen it out yet, but it is coming. So it is some quick little knit accessories. So it says 14 cute winter patterns to add warmth to any outfit. So they're all like matching sets. So there's 7 matching sets you can see here. It is a hat and some fingerless mitts. Oh, similar to my Patreon patterns for this month, but there's that. And then on the back I did a cowl and some mittens, and let's see what else I'll show you. Here's the inside page, hat and a cowl. So they're all very quick to knit accessories. Everything's in the round. All pretty simple stitch patterns. So if you're looking for some very quick knit accessories, be on the lookout for this one in the big box craft store near you soon. So very cool. And then the last thing I wanted to talk about work-wise was this giant encyclopedia of a book, 100 Knits. It's from Interweave. It says Interweave's Ultimate Pattern Collection. And so I got sent this book because one of my patterns is actually in here. Let me see, I could flip to it. So this is sort of Interweave. My understanding is it's sort of the popular knitting patterns that have been in Interweave knits over the last few years. I don't know, maybe 10 years or so. And so I'm very excited that one of my shawls made it in here, page 114. So let's see. So it is my Potter's shawl, which was in an Interweave. I don't remember what year it was originally in Interweave knits, but definitely a couple of years ago. And it is just a crescent shawl that's garter stitch with a knitted on border. You guys know I love that. So there it is. There are tons, I mean, obviously there's 100 patterns in this book. There are tons of beautiful patterns in this book. The other one I wanted to show you was my friend Heather Zappetti. She has the Dahlia cardigan, which is a very popular pattern, one of the top 5 patterns from Interweave knits of all time, which is like so awesome. And I bought this pattern years ago, but I'm so excited to have it in, I'm trying to find a good picture here, to have it in this book. So it's got this beautiful panel on the back, and it's a cardigan, so that's sort of the back. And then there's the front there. It's so pretty. This is another, I will have this. I will have the Dahlia cardigan someday. I mean, come on here. Are you kidding me? So cool. So anyway, there's tons of patterns in here. Hats, mittens, socks. Okay, I might have lied about the mittens. Hats and socks, scarves, cowls, shawls and wraps, cardigans, pullovers, and tanks and tees. So that's all the patterns that are in there. So you should look for this at your local yarn store or find it online. But yeah, this is a huge book. It retails for $45, and it's literally like an encyclopedia. But how cool to have all these patterns in one place, and I'm so excited that my pattern's in there too. Yay! That's it for today. I feel like that was a lot. Yeah, lots of crazy knitting and crochet. Well, not really crocheting, but lots of crazy knitting and projects going on here. So I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you like this video, go ahead and give it that thumbs up. I love getting the thumbs up and getting comments from you guys. It kind of helps me know what you guys like and want to see here on my YouTube channel. And if you want to see more videos from me, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. If you like, you can turn on notifications to be notified whenever I upload a new video. I hope that everybody has a great week, and I will talk to you again soon. Bye!